Well, been a while since I've really talked about something that I love to talk about, that I love personally. That's silver. Like these two babies. Let me just hold these up. Remember this one, the 2-ounce succubus from the Feli Mint. These are like collector coins. Beautiful. It's a 2-ouncer. And then of course we got the old panda from China, 1 ounce. Don't think for 1 second that I don't like me some silver. I haven't sold a single ounce, not even to play the crypto game. But I saw some people sending me stuff, and I already saw it. You know, Andrew Maguire was back on King World News. Hey, I know I said 26 days. Maybe just a few days off. It's going down. It's happening. It's going to happen. Big, giant order coming in for gold. Apparently 250 tons and more or something. I'm any day now. I'm waiting. I'd love to see it myself. Like I said, boy, let's let you know. What are the chances on the day he said that 26th date, we have the biggest epic flash crash silver back up 14 something, back up to 15 out of nowhere. Hammered gold and hammered silver day after day, and especially on the day he talked about. But SRS Rocco report has an interesting article. World's second largest silver mine shut down. Implications for company and market. The world's second largest primary silver mine, Tahoe Resources Escobal Mine, was forced to shut down operations in Guatemala by a ruling from the country's Supreme Court. This was due to a provisional decision by the Guatemalan Supreme Court in respect of a request by CALAS or CALAS, an anti-mining group, for an order to temporarily suspend the license to operate the Escobal mine until there is a full hearing. While the story has been out for a few days, I believe there's a great deal of misinformation on the mainstream and alternative media about the current situation and future outcome of Tahoe's flagship Escobal mine. And by the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you where you can get a 10-ounce silver bar. I believe it's the Proclaim Liberty 10-ounce bar at spot price for JSNIP4 subscribers. And that's sdbullion.com, but I'll tell you the specific link, which it's in my description box, but I'll talk about it at the end. Some analysis suggests that this is just a small speed bump for Tahoe. So while they are able to address disputed regulatory issues, production and profits will shortly return once again. However, there also seems to be another side to the story that could cause more problems for Tahoe, with a much longer suspension time than the company is publicly stating. For example, the following was published in the article, Tahoe Resources Forced to Halt Escobal Mine in Guatemala. And it says, while Tahoe is preparing for a 3-month mine suspension, Haywood analysts project no production from the mine for the remainder of 2017. That's no 3-month deal there. Here we can see that the company, Tahoe, is very optimistic that production at Escobal will start back in 3 months, while Haywood analysts forecast operations won't likely resume this year at all. So, who should we believe, or which forecast is more correct? Before we get into the details, let's first look at the impact of suspending the second largest primary silver mine in the world on the market. A shutdown of the Escobal mine, ranked number 2 in the world, would remove 21 million ounces of supply. According to the 2017 World Silver Survey, Tahoe Resources Escobal mine ranked number 2 behind Fresnillo PLC's Saucito mine in primary silver production in 2016. Here are the top 5 producing primary silver mines in 2016, and this is in millions of ounces. I'll just name the country. Mexico, 21.9 million. Guatemala, 21.2 million. Russia, 19.8. Australia, 18.2. And Peru, 16.2. Furthermore, the data in the 2017 World Survey, why do I feel like there's a mosquito? I mean a spider web on my head all of a sudden. Interesting. Furthermore, the data in the 2017 World Silver Survey reports that a total of 265 million ounces of primary silver was produced last year. Thus, the Escobal mine represents 8% of the total global primary silver mine supply. If Haywood analysts are correct that production at Escobal may not resume in 2017, then the mine is likely to lose nearly half of the 20 to 21 million ounces forecast for 2017. While this is not a great deal of silver compared to total world supply of 886 million, at least in 2016, if the Escobal mine is shut for a longer period of time or indefinitely, it could impact the silver market over the next few years. So again, the big question for investors is how long will the Escobal mine be shut down? Well, let's look at some information and data that seems to be overlooked by the mainstream and even alternative media. What is the true nature and future impact of the suspension of Tahoe's Escobal mine? First, after the Guatemalan Supreme Court suspended operations at Escobal, Tahoe's stock price took a real beating, falling 33% that day. In the past week, Tahoe's stock price has declined 40%. A lot of investors were caught by surprise as Tahoe Resources has been making a lot of money from its mines, especially from its Escobar silver mine in Guatemala. For example, in 2016, Tahoe Resources reported profits of $118 million on revenue of $784 million. That is a stunning 15% margin of profit, and the majority of that profit was from the Escobal mine. Second, the rich profits from the Escobal mine came at a cost, and the cost was in the way of serious human rights violations through its operations, stated by several sources. Unfortunately, many investors that follow the mainstream financial media do not understand that the Escobal mine has been and continues to be a subject of human rights abuse and violations since day one. I wrote about this in my 2014 article, Top Silver Supply Figures and Forecasts Are Incorrect. He says, Escobal will become a big player with forecasted silver production in 2014 of 18 to 20 million ounces. Unfortunately for Tahoe Resources, the locals are not too happy with their Escobal mine. There have been murders and killings on both sides of the protest. This is by no means a small matter by a few disenfranchised locals. Tens of thousands opposed Tahoe Resources' Escobal project in Guatemala. This was back in December 2013. Contrary to Tahoe Resources' recent claims, tens of thousands of people oppose its Escobal project in southeastern Guatemala. Repression and violence have been the outcome of company and government efforts to install the project without social support. A recent High Court decision in Guatemala reinforces the legitimacy and importance of local decision-making processes. More than half of the communities in the municipality of San Rafael, Las Flores, where the Escobal project is located, have declared opposition to the mine. In 5 neighboring municipalities in the departments of Santa Rosa and Jalapa, a majority have voted against the mine in municipal referenda in which tens of thousands of people participated. The most recent vote took place on November 10th. Again, this is a few years ago, in the municipality of Jalapa, Department of Jalapa. Over 23,000 people participated, with 98.3% voting against mining and only 1.7% in favor. My goodness. This is a perfect example. Why am I feeling like there's just a damn spider? Hey, what's wrong with your dad? Looks like a bunch of spiders on top of his head having a meeting. I think there's like 1 or 2 spiders on top of my head having a meeting. What the hell's going on here? Unless it's like a little piece of spider web, like just blowing in the non-existent wind in my house. I don't know. This is a perfect example of what Jim Sinclair states, quote, as the wrong way to go about starting up a mining project in a foreign country, end quote. Jim believes you must have the support of the locals or the project will be doomed for failure. And it did not stop or did not help Tahoe Resources PR one bit when their contracted head of security, Alberto Rotondo, gave direct orders to assassinate members of the community of San Rafael Las Flores. Tahoe Resources executive in Guatemala orders killing of protesters. The preliminary investigations found that Rotundo gave the order to attack the community. He also ordered the crime scene to be cleaned up and changed the police report. The information reveals Rotundo making several statements. Goddamn dogs. They do not understand that the mine generates jobs. We must eliminate these animals, pieces of crap. We cannot allow people to establish resistance. Another Pollo no. Kill the sons of bitches. Wow. Rotundo was apprehended at the airport La Aurora when he tried to flee the country. Wiretapping of conversations between him and his son revealed that he planned to leave Guatemala for a while because I ordered to kill some of these sons of bitches. What seems to be missing from the current license suspension of the Escobal mine is the extremely negative history it has had with the local community. As stated above, Tahoe's former contracted head of security, Alberto Rotundo, gave the direct order to assassinate members of the San Rafael Las Flores community. While the wiretapped conversation between Alberto Rotundo and his son, where he says, I ordered to kill some of these sons of bitches, was published in the media, it did not get much coverage in the mainstream press, of course. This was bad news for a large corporate mining company. So many news agencies seem to just ignore it. So the assumption by many Western investors that Tahoe Resources is only dealing with pesky legal regulatory issues is a seriously inaccurate assessment that could cost them dearly going forward. Now, I am not saying that Tahoe's Escobal mine will not be able to return to operating status, but that there are more serious issues that are coming to light that could be quite detrimental for the company going forward. For example, according to the website Tahoe on Trial, they published the following. The legal cases against Tahoe Resources are being carried out in a larger context of opposition to the Escobal mine. The violence, repression, and criminalization community leaders continue to face is not limited to what transpired back in 2013. The Escobal project depends on a militarized security strategy to suppress opposition and has led to violence and criminalization. I didn't list a few things, whatever. This is just the tip of the Escobal mine protest iceberg. I could fill pages. However, those who believe the protests have gone away and now the public is totally supportive of the mine are completely being deluded. We fast forward to this year. The protests continue. As reported in the article, June 23, 2017, Guatemala police clear access to Tahoe's blocked Escobal mine. You can clearly see something's happening here, right? As we can see, the disinvestment of Tahoe Resources by two large European funds, which has happened, should be a warning to investors that things may not be rosy for the company going forward. So, anyway, so yeah, one of the top 5 mines shut down. What happens if we have issues at another one? And one of the ones I talked about not that long ago was Peru. And remember, there was some kind of problem in a Peruvian mine, specifically silver. So you have that happening. You have Andrew Maguire talk about his stuff mainly with gold. We see silver getting smacked down all of a sudden on the day he talks about it. You know, something's supposed to be happening, which didn't happen yet. Are we gearing up for a moonshot? That's what I want to know. If you have any crypto profits that you want to, fill up another asset with, such as gold or silver, although you could do gold. I'm a silver guy completely. That special deal I was telling you about, if you go to sdbullion.com/jsnip4, it'll take you right there to that 10-ounce bar at spot price. If you look in the description of this video, matter of fact, any video I do, it's at the bottom, towards the bottom, also that same link. You can just click on it and it'll take you there. But it's only for new customers of SD Bullion. But I'll tell you right now, if I didn't have any, or I was still trying to meet a goal, like, oh, I need another 100 ounces. With the prices where they're at today, I'd be trying to load 100 ounces. Screw it, let's go for 150, 200 if I can make it happen. You know what I mean? That's where my mind would be, anyways. How can I get more? It's super fire sale price right now. It sure looks like some stuff's going to be happening in the future. I mean, this is just not normal what we're seeing here. And this article does not help the silver. The silver make it to the COMEX in the first place. The tiny bit that they have on hand anyways, right? So we shall see. Take care.